A motorcycle as adventurous of a history as the bike itself. The 1250 GS is what's right here. Let's go back a few years. In the early 80s, when Motorrad actually announced in France that they're going to launch the large capacity dual sport motorcycle range, quite a lot of people were surprised. A lot of manufacturers were surprised because how at that point would somebody make a bike that big or relatively big but still be able to do roads, terrains, off-road? I mean, throw anything at it and this guy would just go. And that is how BMW actually launched or actually surprised the world with one of the most amazing setup that they ever came with, and what has been running as one of the most amazing motorcycles in their lot when it comes to the adventure segment. BMW Motorrad, of course, the motorcycle division, was actually undergoing a little bit of a turmoil during the phase when this epic journey started. As I was telling earlier, a few engineers at the Motorrad factory put together an engine and built the first R80 GS. A prototype to actually road-ready production model came out, went straight to the Six Flag event. And of course, the Six Flag trail event, you will know that it was one of the most toughest trails at that point. Speed, endurance, I mean, a lot of things were tested there. And the R80 GS actually killed it. Came out one of the top in the fastest category and also all-terrain capable category. And that was when BMW came back onto the map and said, yes, we are back. And that turmoil, I'm sure you understood, was all fixed. The R80 GS, then came the R100 GS. And I mean, these two guys, it was a motorcycle that BMW didn't even have a build order for. The engineers built the R80 GS. It went to the 6-day trail event, rocked the show, came back, succeeded as one of the most futuristic designs of the paralever, which was at that point not there on any other motorcycle. And then onwards started the R&D and the secret recipe of BMW to make an enduro capable and a world showstopper into a touring motorcycle. And that's when, between 2002, 2004 and 2008, you had the R100, then became the 1100, the 1150, and boom, in 2008, they added that magic recipe. The ESA suspension joined the game, and that is when the launch of the GS Adventure variant, the GSAs as we know it, came into the market as well. From 2008, yes, that became the largest capacity all-terrain touring motorcycle, and actually I have goosebumps talking about it. I mean, that was a great growth that BMW had, from an enduro all the way to this, and well, the GSA being a little bigger than this, but one of the best motorcycles still then. Now, the obvious question happens, when you have a successful motorcycle running in the GS or the GS in the market, why would you create an adventure variant of the same motorcycle, basically a different variant of the same motorcycle? Is something that we have to look at. Beautiful motorcycle. And like I was telling, all of us know there is a GS variant, and then there is a GSA variant.
That's exactly why I like BMW in this matter, because if you look at the other brands, you don't get the off-road variant and a touring variant in the same cubic capacity.
Don't we?
You're looking at the BMW 1250 GS, which is my cup of tea, and the GSA, which is a much larger motorcycle. We've all seen that. It is a brilliant bike, no doubt with that. But I mean, for my riding style, the GS does a fantastic job coming from a 390, riding the 800s, the Tiger 900s. And I think the 1250 GS suits the kind of riding that I would be doing. And I really don't, care about the bigger fuel tank and the other bits and pieces the GSA comes with, which you are really fond of.
Because, okay, let's put it this way, like how he perfectly framed it. Yes, if you're looking at off-road, if you're looking at that whack open, the fun, the trails is what matters to you more. But then you are a tourer. You are a guy who would go maybe from Bangalore all the way to Hyderabad to find a trail, like him. You would definitely like this. But then if you're going to go from Bangalore to Hyderabad and from there to Mumbai and then on and on and on, and you're not very off-road.
Boring road stuff. That's what he's talking about.
He has to do the same thing while he gets to the trail. So anyways, so when you're doing that and you are a guy who's happy touring, and maybe you will have a pillion, maybe you have a lot of luggage, you're a photographer, you're not, any of these things, the GSA matters to you. So it's definitely a factor. I mean, I think we both agree to that as well. Pricing.
Pricing is the major part. I mean, we've spoken so much right now about the GSA. While we both know, I mean, both the motorcycles are great. Let's see if it costs as much as we speak.
I'd be happy to. Yeah.
GSP.
What do you think?
Let's go find out what these bikes are about, and is it affordable, and is it everybody's motorcycle, and can anyone have this in the garage?
Point. I mean, so like, again, what we're trying to say is this is not a bike you choose based on the price. What do you intend to do with this? Are you an off-roader? Are you like him? Or are you preferring the touring side? Are you like me? Or a million people who can be referred instead of us. But then if you are one of these, that is where you make the clear classification of which GS or GSA, which motorcycle to go for. With the color variants and all of the details and the pricing, which already shocks me. And of course, it is not everybody's motorcycle, like he said. Yes,
Yeah. I think you should go check out the luxury on 4 wheels in BMW.
He just said 4 wheels, and yet he says he's a GS guy. He's already
Because the
talking
GSA looks like it belongs to the 4-wheel category, but yeah, I might be wrong.
Moving on. We'll see you guys in the showroom. I think it's too late. We'll go there tomorrow.
Let's go there. Yeah.
Let's do that. See you there, and thank you. I do like the GSs. I just kind of like the GSA more because it's fun touring that
It's
machine.
fun, it's good. GSA is good. Size does matter, Shri. Understand that.
You don't realize
Realize
I'm
it, yeah.
talking about the GSA. You get the point.
I just said size does matter, so get the point.
And I like the.
Let's go.
We both love both the
You
motorcycles.
know what? I'll ride the GSA as well.
Good
We'll
one.
find out.
Good one.
I'll
Yeah.
ride the GSA as well.
We'll give you a review on that. Where are the 1250s kept?
Oh, the 1250
1250.
is a level up, so
You have the bike on display. Oh, wow.
Not bad.
Let's go.
Please, we would like to see the bike.
please, after you, sir.
Yes.
So this is the Mighty GS Adventure.
Oh,
That is a beauty. GSA.
GSA. The fully loaded bike.
Partially loaded for now.
Partially loaded. Man, looks like a beast.
So this is what, I mean, when you say the rider equipment, GSA, this is what's different. I think the foot pegs.
So in a nutshell, the aluminium racks, not the boxes,
Okay.
the aluminium racks come as standard on the Adventure model of the GS,
So that is the top and the side.
top and the sides.
Okay.
Coming to the front, the crash bars, upper lower, including the aux lights, are standard equipment. A taller windshield compared to the GS, and a larger fuel tank, which is 30 liters compared to 20 on the GS.
What's the price on this?
The price is 27 and a half on the GS and
Okay.
29.3 on the Adventure.
Wow.
So we're like 2 lakhs apart.
Quite a bit. I think
I'm going to go here.
we look at this.
How much
This
is
is the
this
310,
at the
right?
That's a 4,22,000 on the road.
Okay.
Okay, not bad. And yeah, my mind's already here. But just to also ask, when you look at the GS and GSA, what would you say puts these bikes apart?
Puts it apart from,
I mean, why the GS and the GSA?
okay, so the pinnacle of adventure touring motorcycles. I mean, they're not as intimidating as they look. That's something you would understand when you start riding them. The boxer engine is the charm. The shaft drive is bliss. It's something you must ride to experience.
So, if there is already a GS, which I think, okay, this is all what I've read, it is supposed to be a lot more agile, a lot more comfortable, and also off-road capable. The GSA,
It's equally capable.
it is.
I don't think we can afford this for now. I think we'll look at the small guy. We'll start with the 310. And I think
totally
once we get a little bit better in terms of riding and maybe have bigger pockets.
So I would agree to that fact because yes, bigger pockets, I think.
I don't think I'll do justice to 30 lakhs right away. Maybe I'll start with something small and then the craving would come in for a bigger one, right? What,
So
what
I guess
do you
that's
say,
smart.
Amol?
This is a one-time upgrade.
That's more like a 5-time upgrade.
3 at least.
3.
Fair enough. Oh, but this is a beautiful bike. strategy. BMW succeeded that when they first chose the R80 GS and how they placed it in the market, how they made the upgrades, and of course, you're looking at another brilliant strategy. In the market, there was another brand that did the same thing. If you remember when the Harleys came in, everybody immediately went and jumped looking at the big bikes. And they were like, that mental block of putting out that much money was actually something that we had to convince ourselves, something that we had to come at peace with. I mean, the 1250, as you must have heard, even the showroom talking about it, even we understanding, and even I'm looking at a lot of my friends riding this, it takes a little bit of money. I mean, well, actually not a little bit, a lot of money. And at the same time, the skill sets have to come up. The way you understand these bikes have to come up. Your service intervals, cost of servicing, all of that changes. And that is where BMW has not let anybody out. Now, when it comes to owning a BMW, this is a beautiful machine as well. I mean, why I'm talking about it? Yes, at this point, when I just heard the price, I'm actually thinking, I mean, would I really have to put that much money right now? Now, I'd love the motorcycle, but I definitely want to start somewhere where I can understand it and get there. Yes. Start with the Street 750 and you end up with a fat boy. That's what's happened. A lot of guys now have the 310 and soon will pick up the 1250 GS. Now, let's say you're in another industry. I mean, maybe you're not happy with the adventure and you ride this or the 310R and you find it. The F900 XR, the F850 GS, the 750 GS, the S1000 XR, the S1000RR, the S1000R, the K1300s, well, now the R1250 RTs. I mean, the list is on. The kind of variety these guys have in their motorcycle range is just mind-blowing. And they make sure, trust me, they make sure with the feel at the service, the feel at the showrooms, and the way each bike makes you feel. Once you're here, you're not going to want another motorcycle. So that's that. But again, it has just gone down. I want to still know what's next. So I think we've pretty much understood the 1250 GS caters to a certain kind of riding community. The GSA, of course, built for that kind of riding, but a little lesser on the off-road options, but much better on the touring and the long-haul option. But all that being said and done, the 1250 GSA is not everybody's motorcycle.
Sadly, it isn't. Yeah, it's not everybody's motorcycle, like you said.
Painfully.
It's painfully, and so yeah, which is why I think I'll go in for the 310 GS3. I will start with this motorcycle and let's see how it goes. Maybe sometime down the line, I will definitely upgrade to the 1250 GS or the GSA. Depends on my pockets and my riding skills. So
that is important.
The 310 GS it is for now. Yeah, that's pretty
All right,
much it.
and I think that's.
No, you know what, Sri?
I was just going to tell you that what.
I am not convinced yet.
Can we at least take a test ride?
Test ride? No, I don't want to ride it on the road. The GS doesn't belong to be. It's not meant to be ridden on the road. I'll tell you something.
Yeah,
Just check your phone. You should have got a location. I'll see you in the playground.
Our old playground?
I'll see you there. By the way, it's with the 1250.
I'm going to look forward to that. I'm sure you guys are looking forward to that. Stay tuned. Hi guys, yes, we are at the playground now. The 1250 GS, like what we were talking last time in the showroom, AJ did promise me that he is going to show me some fun in the playground. He might be a little late, but then honestly speaking, the perfect lighting, the perfect sand and the perfect location, nothing better to catch than the 1250. I can hear that beautiful bike, and I guess even though he's late, and the dust. But yeah, I mean, come on, the 1250 GS is still one of the most capable bikes. I mean, I think he's just gone on the trail. I mean, he's just done that whack open throttle. I'd love to hear from him how he feels on this motorcycle. But yes, guys, let me also put it this way, that when you look at the GSA and the GS, this guy is a little more agile. The suspension travels a little better in terms of Enduro Pro. And with the bike being a little lighter, it is actually more fun to do this. I really would like to hear from him on this, so I'm gonna wait for him to come along, and I think he likes the bike too much. 8.5 inches travel in the front and 7.9 inches travel at the rear. That's what the GS is actually having as in terms of its suspension travel. Compared to the GSA, yes, slightly lesser. But then, AJ,
Yeah.
how do you feel on the playground?
Well, while I didn't get the opportunity to, jump the motorcycle around, but well, what I can tell you is riding the 390 for such a long time and riding the GS, the 1250 GS triple black, I think in terms of weight balance is just brilliant. While you have to carry a little bit of skill set with you, I think anyone can ride this motorcycle. It looks big, yeah, that's absolutely right. It looks big, but that doesn't mean that it's difficult to pull out stuff on this motorcycle. Get yourself geared up, and yeah, the motorcycle does everything. What I also would like to tell you is, when people look at this boxer engine setup, they think, moving it and flicking it on the trails and, sliding it around here like what you saw might be difficult, but no, that's absolutely wrong, because the bike does everything for you with a little bit of skill set.
Interestingly, sorry to interrupt, but interestingly, you just said that yourself.
Yeah.
And as you know, I love the GSA. That travel, you have 8.9 at the rear and 8.7 in the front for the GSA. And like you said, the Boxer makes it look better. The GSA is equally capable of doing, well, not the hardcore enduro, of course, because of the huge tank that it's got,
Yeah.
the tank capacity. But when you sit on the bike, the GSA still feels the same. Imagine a bigger tank in front, but the same grip hold, the
Yeah.
same riding position, the same handlebar stance. You are looking at a bike that's equally capable as well. Yes, guys, the GSA is also equally adventure capable, maybe not a little more enduro capable than this. Yep, that power-packed little bit where you saw the GS and the GSA do that fun bit on the trails. Well, actually not trails, flat track, whatever you call it. At the end of the day, that requires skill as well, and that's also somewhere where we try to benchmark. Are these guys good for the WAC Open? This, of course it is. That, a lot of people have a worry that it's bigger, it's heavier, it's an adventure variant. But then again, it is not as capable as this. I'm sure Ajit will have a little bit of his side to put because he just rode these there. When you look
Well,
at
Shri,
it...
I think there's a lot of confusion with the GS and the GSA. What is it about?
No, they're not confused. First, okay, ignore that. We will talk about that offline. But
Okay.
you rode the GS and the GSA.
Yeah.
Do you really think even now that they're equals, or what's your bit?
Well, I think they pretty much fall in the same line. While I had the chance to play around with the triple black GS, the 1250 GS, I riding it to Coorg and did a few trails and some really fast trails, and it's totally unimaginable the way the bike was handling, anything thrown at it. That to me, riding the 1250 for the first time, I really felt home. And I think this is where I would want to figure out what the GSA can do. But yeah, like you said, the 30-liter tank is really not a priority if you're more into adventure and enduro riding, right? You would want to look at maybe the GS. But yeah, that's me with the GS. I'm going to go out riding. I'll see you in a bit. I'm not done yet. I'll be back. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the playground, and this is where we actually rode the 1250 GS as well, and this is the GSA. Well, there's a massive difference in terms of, if you want to use this bike hardcore adventure enduro, because you're looking at a 30-liter tank, which adds up to a lot of weight. And I mean, it's not everyone's piece of cake, but with the right set of skill set, with a lot of practice, I think this can also do a lot of the adventure and the enduro stuff. But the main aim of the GSA is to munch those highway miles. So I think now we definitely have a conclusion, depending on the kind of rider you are, whether you would need a GS or a GSA. That's it for now, guys. Checking out. Let's go riding.
No, so as he said, when you look at it overall, the GS and the GSA are equally capable. They're both motorcycles built, I mean, if I have to really put emotion to this, I'd say Motorrad Germany would have built these bikes to go anywhere in the world, any dealership. And then actually these bikes are capable and built enough, if taken care of well, they can come back to the showroom on the two wheels, not on a trailer, or you know what I mean. I mean, they are that capable. But when you also come to the aspect of buying these motorcycles, yes, you should decide, what are you? Are you going to look at that long haul? Are you going to do 800 to 1,000 kilometers a day? You're more of the long distance touring. But yes, the trail or the off-road or the dirty bits do come in between you. You're not the guy who will always follow the same tarmac roads. That's perfect. When you have a little more of the off-road or the dirty conditions and you want to play around a little bit, that's what you go for. But again, let me add the next aspect. When you buy these motorcycles, you're going to definitely be hearing about the fact that this comes with a lot of rider equipment, which, as we saw earlier in the video today, we have the upper lower crash bars, we have the side racks and the top rack, you know, the taller windscreen, which is shorter here. This is the touring windscreen. As you can see on this motorcycle, even after putting that, both these motorcycles have about a lakh and a half worth of accessories to be added on to make it critically fine. Now, on this bike, you can see the cylinder covers on the OEM. There is a reinforcement bar for the OEM crash bar. These are all to make sure the protection is perfect. Front sliders, rear sliders, and all the other things are pretty much the same as the GS. Only difference is, yes, these 2 points which I said, the GS comes with any aftermarket crash bar. These are for the OEM crash bar. But be it the GSA or the GS, there is a lot to kit up. There is a lot. And there is definitely the understanding of what you're going to do with these bikes for the next 5 years. That should be the benchmark of buying these motorcycles. Not, okay, this is cheaper, this is a little higher, or maybe this has got more equipment, this has not got the equipment. All of that is doable later. What are you going to do with the bike? That's what's going to put the benchmark into understanding what you want to buy in this gap. Before I actually wrap this up, let me also tell you guys that yes, the GSA also deserves an extended review, and we have none other than the Riders Republic Motorcycling Club, which is part of our next video as a dedicated GSA review in terms of, I mean, that's a bunch of guys who are hardcore GSA riders, and from the 2014-15 edition or the version till the 2023 trophy, they have all the models available and they ride them in that group. And I mean, if I look at an average, you're looking at a total of about 10.5 lakh kilometers is what these guys have covered. An easy average of 2-3 guys crossing about 2 lakhs, 1.5 lakhs, 1 lakh kilometers on these motorcycles. There is a lot to hear about the GSAs there. So stay tuned for that as well. Meanwhile, that's us. You can like, share and subscribe the video right there. And I'm going to go away from this video now and you guys enjoy the beauty of these.
Basic dynamics between the GS and the GSA.
So before we get into the accessory part of the GS, of course, which is another important aspect once you buy the bike, you've ridden the bike, all of that.
You realize Arjun is next to you.
We have to just also ask the owner of this motorcycle.
You
what
need
do you
money,
think
money,
about...
money.
Right? Yeah, who's going first?
And then there is the GSA.
Absolutely right. That's exactly why I like BMW for this matter, because they have the same bike in 2 different configurations. One is your touring bike and one is something like me where, no, I didn't have to come so fast.
That's correct, continue.
Huh?
It's correct,
Let's
it was
do it
correct,
again.
it was correct, it was so correct. I was
The way he's looking at me knows like you came so soon. How was that, Santosh?